Good day. In this video, we're going to do this geometry rider on quadrilaterals. It is given that ABCD is a rectangle and DECF is a rhombus. And there's also saying that the angle here at E is 60 degrees. They are asking us to work out quite a few of the angles and the length of AC later. For you to answer a rider on quadrilaterals, if they in that sum mention a specific quadrilateral, like they mentioned the rhombus and the rectangle here, you must know all the features of those quadrilaterals. You must have heard about 1,000 times in your life that you need to know your multiplication tables to be able to do maths. But in geometry, you need to know the features of the quadrilaterals to use them in the riders like we're going to do. And then after you know all these features, you must know what to write as your reason for the statements you're going to make. In this rider, it's a fantastic rider, we will use most of these reasons. And it is from the Mind Action Grade 9 textbook. They told us that this red quadrilateral is a rhombus. Up here they say the opposite sides of a rhombus are parallel. I indicated it there for us. Another feature is, and all the sides are equal. I indicated it for us. Next, you should know that the opposite angles of a rhombus are equal. The two black angles and the two blue angles are equal. And you need to know that the interior angles of any quadrilateral adds up to 360 degrees. Next, you must know three things about the diagonals of a rhombus. There's the two diagonals. They bisect each other, like I explained to you here. That blue part and that blue part is the same, and that black part and that black part is the same length. Next, you must know they meet each other at 90 degrees. And thirdly, the diagonals, this diagonal cuts that angle in half, and that angle in half. Big word, bisect the vertex angles. Next, they told us this blue quadrilateral is a rectangle. Firstly, you should know that the diagonals of a rectangle bisect each other and they are equal in length. So two stories there. This is equal to that, and this is equal, and that is equal. That means all four of those pieces are equal. Next, you should know the interior angles of a rectangle are equal to 90 degrees each. I indicated it for you. And you should know, like in all quadrilaterals, the interior angles add up to 360 degrees. And one more set of features, there is two in here, is the opposite sides of a rectangle are parallel firstly, and then they are equal. So this one and this one is parallel, this one and this one is parallel, this one and this one is equal, and this one is equal. And like I said, if you don't know your multiplication tables, you can't do basic calculations. If you don't know these features, you won't understand this rider. Now this is where you have to stop the video and look at this red part. All the red words that are highlighted is the reasons you're going to write as you answer your rider. Diagonals of a rhombus for these three features. Opposite angles of a rhombus when you need that. The opposite sides of a rhombus if you need that. The sides of a rhombus if you need that. The diagonals of a rectangle when you need that. The interior angles of a rectangle when you need that. And the opposite sides of a rectangle when you use these two features. And God willing, we will be using most of them in this rider. Now we're going to do this rider together. All geometry riders have the following in common. There is a given part, there's a sketch. The given part gives you hints what's going on in the sketch. Then in your mind, there is knowledge like your tables. The features of the stuff they're talking about should be in your mind or written down on a piece of paper, and the abbreviation should be written down somewhere that you can fetch them or they are in your brain. So let's start all over. Here is a sketch. They told us that blue quadrilateral is a rectangle. They told us that red quadrilateral is a rhombus. They told me that that angle there, DEC, is 60 degrees. Firstly, they ask us to work out the size of angle E1. One way to answer it is to write angle E1 is equal to angle E2 is equal to 30 degrees. because of the diagonals of a rhombus. There are three things that the diagonals of a rhombus does. If you use any one of these three, you'll use this one reason, the diagonals of a rhombus. Your final answer, angle E1 is 30 degrees. The moment I work out something on the way down, I fill in the particulars I've got on my sketch. Next, they ask me to work out angle F1, that one there. One way to answer it is to write angle F1 is equal to 30 degrees is equal to E1. So that angle over there and over there are equal because they are opposite equal sides of a triangle. Then we can say why we said that. This FD is equal to DE is equal to CE is equal to FC, sides of a rhombus, and F1, in other words, is then equal to 30 degrees. And we immediately fill it in on the sketch. Next, they ask us to work out the size of angle B2, that small angle there. You can then write angle G1 is equal to 90 degrees because of the diagonals of a rhombus. One of the features of the diagonals were that they bisect each other perpendicularly. Next, we can say angle C1 plus C2 is equal to 90 degrees, that angle down there, because of the interior angles of a rectangle. Then we can write line FE is parallel to line BC because the corresponding angles are equal. The G1 and the GCB are both equal to 90 degrees. So these two red lines are now parallel because these two corresponding angles are equal. Then you may write that angle B2 is equal to 30 degrees. There's our answer because it's equal to the F1, corresponding angles FE parallel to BC. So that angle there and there are equal. There's the two parallel lines. There's the transversal, and they are corresponding angles with parallel lines. Please stop the video and get your brain around this part. Next, they ask us to work out the size of angle B1, that small angle there. One way to answer it is to write angle B1 plus B2 is equal to 90 degrees, that whole angle there, interior angles of a rectangle. So then B1 is equal to 90 degrees minus the 30 of B2, so B1 is equal to 60 degrees. The last part of this rider says, if EC is equal to 4 centimeters, that line there, calculate the length of AC. One way to answer it is to write EC is equal to FC is equal to 4 centimeters, sides of a rhombus. All four of these sides are equal, so this one and this one will be equal. Next, we can write FC is equal to FA is equal to 4 centimeters because of the diagonals of a rectangle. They bisect each other. And therefore, your final answer, AC equals 8 centimeters. Please indicate whether you liked or disliked the video and subscribe to the channel. Enjoy geometry of quadrilaterals.